South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. An immigration raid at a construction site in Wilton Manors caught on camera. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho talked to the contractor who says agents took one of his workers away.
On Friday morning, Jeb Schaefer says he received an unexpected call. He says it came from his subcontractor working on one of his job sites here in Wilton Manors, telling him that there were federal agents there. So he put the phone down. He rushed over, trying to help diffuse the tension.
Okay,
A man records, informing agents he's doing so because they're on private property. It's a job site Jeb Schaefer of Schaefer Construction hired subcontractors to work on.
Like family to you. So it's very upsetting to see that.
Schaefer tells us federal agents took one of the workers away in handcuffs on Friday. We see the man wearing a white shirt being guided away by a federal agent.
I'm told that, yeah, he's lived in the United States for 15 years, this guy. And again, he's got a wife, he's got a kid.
Schaefer tells us his subcontractor is up against the wall in this video in a yellow shirt with federal agents standing in front of him. Then we see Schaefer coming into view, wearing a dark red collared shirt, filming and observing.
He was trying to get, his guy's cell phone so that he could get it to his guy's wife.
He told everyone to pack up and go from the job site for the day after it all unfolded.
I'd like to find out what the circumstances were that, allowed them to come and take him, because I want to educate myself.
So we spoke with an immigration attorney who walks us through what to know when federal agents arrive on your private work site, business, or home.
They have to have a warrant signed by a magistrate or a judge. And if they do not have a warrant signed by a magistrate or a judge, you do not have to let them in.
Immigration attorney Angel Leal tells us you can let federal agents in without showing a warrant. It's up to you as the business owner or homeowner. Once agents are in, Leal says you have the right to remain silent.
Part of your right to remain silent is not standing where they tell you to sign if you happen to be undocumented, because that's a form of expression.
And he adds everyone has the right to speak to an attorney first.
Stay calm, do not resist, invoke your constitutional rights. Everyone in this country, independent of their immigration status, has their constitutional rights.
Leal also has advice for business owners moving forward to make sure that they are in compliance with the E-Verify laws here in the state of Florida and that their I-9s are in order. And as for Schaefer, he says he feels for all the families affected by what took place and that he hopes moving forward he can learn from this and also help others that find themselves in similar circumstances. Reporting in Wilton Manors, Joe Gorcho, CBS News Miami.
A North Miami woman fed up with rainwater washing out her neighborhood and backyard. She says the water woes began after new construction near her home, and now she is suing the property owners next door, accusing them of not doing enough to keep the rainwater at bay. CBS News Miami's Steve Majiri has our report.
Eileen Bicaba says the land next to her home is at an angle, meaning when rainwater comes down this steep slope, it washes into her yard. It even gets around this wall that's meant to separate the properties.
Flooded third court.
Eileen Bicaba has lived in her North Miami home since 1994, but she says flooding didn't become a problem until around 2018. She's documented at least 30 times that it's happened.
If you are outside and it floods, you can't get back. If you're inside and it floods, you can't get out.
She says 3 properties around her home are responsible, since she says their land isn't designed to keep their rainwater out of her yard.
The instant that they removed the trees and elevated the land and started bringing in gravel and stuff in, we started flooding.
We found that the city slapped one of the properties with this violation notice on December 23rd for deficient water drain and retention systems. The city ordered them to get it into compliance by the end of January. A city spokesperson told us the city is in contact with the owner about fixing the problem. But Bicaba is now taking the property owners to court. In her lawsuit, she accuses the parties running these properties of not creating adequate drainage for stormwater and allowing and forcing stormwater to flow onto the plaintiff's home. We've reached out to reps for each of the defendants in the lawsuit through the info on their Sunbiz accounts. They either declined to comment or did not respond. Bicaba's attorney is still sorting everything out.
We're not 100% clear on the role of each of the 3 defendants. We believe they all had a role in developing or owning the parcels.
They have to stay here all the time.
Bicaba wants $75,000 and wants the land fixed to prevent water from getting into her yard. A City of North Miami spokesperson tells me that Bicaba's situation is on the city's radar, and the city's also working on a project on her street here that would improve the stormwater drainage systems. The city spokesperson also tells me that the City of North Miami is conducting a citywide study to update its stormwater master plan. In North Miami, Steve Majiri, CBS News Miami.
When we come back, see how a South Florida family is honoring their daughter's legacy and pushing for changes on the water. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. A South Florida family is pushing legislation to make boating safer in honor of their daughter, Lucy. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten caught up with Lucy's parents to talk about the latest step forward.
It's been a very difficult 2.5 years for the Fernandez family after losing Lucy. I spoke to Lucy's father today. He told me what he realizes now is that his calling is to advocate for boating safety.
Losing Lucy, it's very difficult to come back from that.
Andy Fernandez is making sure that his 17-year-old daughter Lucy's tragic boating death was not in vain. The ultimate goal for this would be
is to make the water a safer environment. Right now, the water is very dangerous. The boats are a lot bigger. They're a lot faster. There are much more distractions out there.
Lucy was killed when the boat she and 13 others were on Labor Day weekend 2022 crashed into a channel marker on Biscayne Bay. Miami real estate broker George Pino is charged with vessel homicide. Now the Fernandez family is pushing for modernizing Florida boating laws.
We quickly discovered that enhancing boater and watercraft safety was really our calling.
In Tallahassee, newly introduced legislation known as Lucy's Law would expand boating safety education and increase penalties for reckless boating, boating under the influence, and accidents resulting in death.
And we believe it's logical, it's common sense that anybody that's going to operate a vessel, a boat, has to obtain at least a basic level of understanding prior to going out on the water.
According to FWC, in 2023, 59 people died in boating accidents in Florida. The Fernandez family is hoping that their efforts will save lives.
Our goal is that we want to prevent another family from standing in our shoes, because this has been horrible, this has been tragic, and we are trying to make something positive out of this, horrific situation.
The regular legislative session gets underway on March 4th. If you'd like to learn more about Lucy's Law, go to our website, cbsmiami.com. In Dania Beach, Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
It's no secret that Fort Lauderdale is a hot spot for spring breakers, and this year is no different. Thousands are expected to flock to the city for the beach, food, fun, and sun. And while the city says it loves to welcome tourists, safety must be forefront on everyone's minds. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez takes us to the beach with the message residents want everyone to hear.
Wow, it really does not get any better than this. That's why Fort Lauderdale has become a hotspot for tourists and spring breakers from all over the country. And in just a few weeks, this beach will be packed with spring breakers. But officials as well as residents are asking just one thing: please follow the rules. It's that time of the year again, spring break. It's upon us. What do you guys think of that?
Looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun not only for spring breakers, but also residents who live in Fort Lauderdale and say they don't mind the crowds.
It's welcome, brings in a lot of business. Everyone has fun. So looking forward to it.
I just know to get out early in the morning while they're all in bed. So, no, it doesn't bother me at all.
Meanwhile, at the Elbow Room, the epicenter for party crowds, they tell us they are ready for what's to come.
Oh, we're expecting a good time. A lot of people from all over the country. Lauderdale's iconic. Elbow Room's an iconic spot. But we're used to it. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully that doesn't get too rowdy.
And it may be calm now as seen from Drone 4, but soon that will all be changing. That is why the city of Fort Lauderdale has set up rules that must be followed. No coolers on the beach, as well as no alcohol, no tents or tables will be allowed. And also they will be limiting live and loud music during the city's busiest time from February 23rd through April 12th.
We're very excited. We always look forward to it every single year. We're getting ready, we're getting prepared now, and we're just taking it all in as it comes.
Well, there you have it. The city of Fort Lauderdale welcoming spring breakers, and they want everyone to know officials will be out here in full force, making sure that everyone is under control, making sure they respect the city and, of course, each other. In Fort Lauderdale, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see our continued celebration of Black History Month across Florida.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. We are celebrating Black History Month in this week's edition of Miami Proud by spotlighting a U.S.-born, Nigeria-raised surgeon who is not only treating patients in South Florida, he is helping them all around the world. He's part surgeon, part teacher, and completely focused on saving lives. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward introduces us to one of Memorial Healthcare's brightest.
Norman Ajiboye wears his white physician's coat almost as proudly as the mission behind the work, earning shelves and walls full of honors, including that presidential medal hanging on his neck.
You know, Martin Luther King Jr. once said that everybody can be great because anyone can serve. And to be able to serve, all you need is a heart full of grace and a soul full of love. So that's part of what excited me and provided me the passion.
Born in Georgia, Dr. Ajiboye grew up in Nigeria, watching people struggle to afford health care. And the kid who loved video games and working with his hands fell in love with medicine, specifically what he calls the body's black box, the brain.
My mission is to alleviate the burden of stroke. And every time I'm able to take out a clot in someone's brain, even if it's at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, when I see the smile on their face, when I see the smile on their family's face, that really excites me and makes me excited about what I do.
He is a neuroendovascular surgeon in a world hardly full of them.
Like, can you put your arms up?
So he more than treats patients. Dr. Ajiboye directs stroke programs at Memorial Hospital Miramar, Pembroke, and leads teams treating patients for free in the Caribbean. Everywhere he goes, Dr. Ajiboye also teaches and mentors physicians to serve their communities. That passion helped him develop a nonprofit clinic in Texas, organize free care to people experiencing homelessness in Chicago, and inspire so many people in New York City that the mayor gave him this key. Now he's trying to carry his travel mission around the world with bigger medical teams. It's what earned Dr. Ajiboye that Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award last year.
Getting awards are fine, but honestly, I think, you know, the work you put behind it, the volunteerism is really what makes me excited. It's really what makes me happy. It's really what drives my passion.
It is also making Miami proud. Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
And now turning to an out-of-this-world profile, from being a Cub Scout to high school band member to astronaut, Winston Scott walked in space 3 times. CBS News Miami's Hank Tester talked to Scott. He was born and raised in segregated Coconut Grove and never forgot his roots.
I think how miraculous and what a blessing it is that a little kid from segregated Coconut Grove could wind up with the life that I have.
That's that little kid from segregated Coconut Grove who became an astronaut. Boy Scout Winston Scott grew up in Coconut Grove, and then, 1992, he was told he would be an astronaut.
I was trying to be as calm and collected as I possibly could. I replied by, "Yes, sir, thank you very much. I'm so happy. I look forward to seeing you." But when I put the phone down, I just said, yes!
What a life. What a career. Florida State University, naval aviator, 6,000 hours of flight time, 20 different types of aircraft, including helicopters, 24 days in space, and 3 spacewalks. Scott credits his father and mother for inspiration and expanding his world beyond Coconut Grove. That's Winston on the right.
Yeah, they used to have a science fair there every year. And our dad would take us to the science fair to sort of expose us, I guess, to some of the things that other students were doing that we didn't get a chance to do in my neighborhood.
Winston Scott says the segregated Coconut Grove Carver Junior Senior High School teachers and the Scoutmasters provided inspiration for, as he puts it, a kid from the hood.
One day after school, Mrs. McCray loaded a bunch of us into her car, must have been 5 or 6 of us, and drove us to the public library. And we all got library cards. And we were allowed to check out one book on that first visit. And the book I checked out was called Project Mercury. And I had to read the book and write a book report on it.
A father that provided inspiration, teachers that took interest. A curious kid, Winston Scott, made it big, and he's never forgotten his roots.
We didn't realize, the schools were good in that our teachers were outstanding. They were as smart, as accomplished as any teachers anywhere.
Winston Scott often returns to South Florida to talk to students, talks about his experiences, and he provides inspiration. I'm Hank Tester, CBS News, Miami.
Finally, you know what they say, roses are red, violets are blue, and as Valentine's Day weekend kicks off, almost 1 billion roses and other flowers are traveling through South Florida to you. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis gives us a look at the journey from the airport to your front door.
It's been constant traffic for weeks at this flower warehouse in Doral as workers prep for this Friday.
Through a week and a half, we handle around 600,000 boxes that come through our facility.
All of these boxes are heading to florists around South Florida and across the country.
Miami is the #1 airport for all imported fresh cut flowers. 90% of those fresh cut flowers come through South Florida. Last year, there were 9 billion stems that were imported, and 90% of those came through South Florida.
Christine Bolt with the Association of Floral Importers of Florida says of those 9 billion stems throughout the year, almost 1 billion of them are strictly for Valentine's Day, most of them coming from Colombia and Ecuador.
So it takes about 2 weeks to get the entire logistics handled.
Once the flowers are in Miami, they are not only picked up by supermarkets and wholesalers, but local florists like Patricia Jimenez from Homestead.
Some roses from Allure, and I got some stocks, and there's more roses there.
And Lourdes Baidez from Broward County. Both are small business owners, and with the prices of flowers more expensive during Valentine's Day, Baidez says she only does pre-orders.
Because I don't want to expect to buy too much materials and don't sell it. Even though I don't sell it, I go to the street and I will sell it.
Roses that you pick up one day for Valentine's Day, they're probably about 20 or 30% more than usual.
Well, during these busy holiday seasons, flower shops recommend coming in a few days early and not waiting till the day of so they don't sell out of these roses. Reporting in Doral, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
Thanks so much for joining us this half hour in Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.